Does user experience matter, particularly when you talk about enterprise technologies like Salesforce? I was talking with a friend of mine who's an SVP in a very large tech company, and they bought a product that works with Salesforce about a year ago. They spent a lot of money on it. They've put it in place and they really don't like it. It does what it says on the tin, but they find the end user experience a bit non-intuitive. There was a time in enterprise space with B2B softwares that nobody would question things like these, especially if you've lived in the era of the mainframe with a green screen. User experience had a very different perspective and expectations that we had from it. But what's changed in the last decade or so is that our expectation from user experience is significantly higher. We expect it to be like an Apple product. We expect it to be like a Starbucks experience. We expect it to be like a Salesforce experience. But what I found is that it's really hard to make good user experiences. Having been in the consulting and on the product side, I regularly run into people who misunderstand what user experience means and who definitely underappreciate the impact it can have on their user adoption, on their success with the technology. When you look at the Salesforce world, it is so much easier to be upfront and build a thoughtful user experience in terms of number of clicks, in terms of helpful information, in terms of help text, just simple things like that. When companies write requirements for their Salesforce release, I don't know if they're writing requirements about what the help text ought to be. That is such a missing but small thing that can dramatically make a difference. We spend a lot of time on our products to do things like these. We added a whole wizard so that people can configure data masker themselves and basically run it. And we spent a lot of time doing it, primarily because it is hard to do good technology that is consumable. And that applies also if you are a Salesforce admin, a Salesforce architect, a Salesforce BA, a Salesforce product owner, program owner, anybody who's responsible in their day-to-day job to deliver on Salesforce functionality. You want to think about the overall experience, the ease of usage, the effort versus the return on it. Do people understand what the product is asking them to do? Does it seem convoluted? How many clicks? How many places do they have to go and fix things? Do we make it intuitive? Is there help along the way? Are we using things like guided navigation? Are you using in-app guidance? How are you able to bring enablement? How are you able to bring adoption for your end users? You could use technologies and third-party products like Speckit and others, but even if you don't, you could do simple things like having a really great help text, adding support for multilingual if you're in a very global organization. Most businesses don't want to invest on things like that, but in certain cases, it may be helpful to have custom labels and have text that's useful for it. It may also be helpful to have very small snippets from a training perspective. One thing we can all learn from the rise of social media like TikTok is that video is addictive, video is helpful. Video is something we all like, particularly if it's not a 3-hour monologue corporate training. If we can make small snippets and videos of functionality, that may help users understand and embrace your technology very, very quickly. I'm curious to hear what you think. Thank you so much.